how has this program been going? I mean, I know it came in for some lashes from tutor at a point in time, you know, but...
No, this is not the issue with tutor. This is the early childhood education.
Yeah. How has the program been going? How many years and how has the program been going?
No, this is the first of 3 national consultations on the early childhood education. You remember the Prime Minister mandated the Minister of Education to ensure that there is universal early childhood education by the end of our first term in office. So therefore, within the next 3 years, we are working to ensuring that all over 34,000 children between ages 3 to 5, the annual birth rate is about 17,000, are through a formal system of early childhood education between ages 3 to 5. Today is the first of 3 consultations, national consultations. We had 3 educational districts involved here and a number of various stakeholders, at least about 30 stakeholders in education. We have 330 participants today, 198 ECCE, private ECCE centers at this meeting, at this consultation. Serval has 50 schools. We had UNESCO, NPTA, 11 tertiary institutions, and various individuals from the Ministry of Education, from Planning, ECCE Division, Legal, the Communication, CEO, etc. I'm very gratified with the interaction between the participants and amongst themselves on the way forward for this, discussing the curriculum, the standardization for the ECCE centers, question of the human resource management training, the capacity building, training the trainers within the system, the infrastructure, the legal requirements, etc. We expect to have the next consultation in Caroni for the other 4 remaining districts, and also to have one in Tobago. At the end of that, we will summarize the contributions made by all the participants. We will have their names and addresses, telephone numbers, email addresses. We'll be visiting their centers. Already, we have this is significant. We have a willingness for 185 of these early childhood education centers leaders to partner with the Ministry of Education. 15 are still deciding, and so far, therefore, we may have a commitment of close to 200 already decided to commit themselves to partnering with us in the way forward on providing education for our children between ages 3 to 5.
Now, I know it's been a topic that has been, you know, strong set in the minds of the Education Ministry. What was the instigator of the program?
Children's intellectual capacity development start from within the uterus, and to nurture the minds and the brains of our children. We know that 70% of our intellectual capacity development of our children take place within the first 7 years of life, and so therefore this is a must for us to capitalize on these early years between 3 and 5. Of course, the education begins before that at home and in other settings, but from the formal aspect, we want to ensure that all 34,000 children are taken care of and are educated between ages 3 to 5, and a seamless transition into primary schools and then of course into secondary schools.
What is the literacy rate in the country?
Well, we are having difficulties with that, but that's another subject that we will deal with subsequently. But today's issue is how do we move the early childhood education process forward as quickly as possible to capture the 34,000 children. So far, we are only taking care of about 6,000 out of that 34,000 within the formal system, with Serval, 71 schools being run by Serval, and probably 120 by government and government assisted. We also had the denominational boards here, 11 of them represented today, to take part in this national consultation. So I think we are very encouraged by the participation, and we're going to move forward as fast as possible to ensuring that we bring this into reality. If we get the support of these 200 early childhood education centers, we will possibly be taking care of another 12,000 right away. So 12 plus 7 about 19,000. We therefore have to work to build another capacity for the other 15,000 by building more schools. We are already training close to 900 early childhood education students, and we're doing the certificate in 6 tertiary institutions. These are GATE certified, and we are working with the Ministry of Tertiary Education, my colleague Mr. Karen, to ensure that we have a normalized curriculum accredited by the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago, so that these teachers will have ample opportunity to have pedagogical skills training and a practical component to their training. And we're going to be utilizing these centers here to assist with the training in these centers.
And finally, you said 6,000, 7,000 students have been dealt with. And you also said that you're looking to bring it into reality by the end of the government's first term.
Total universal early childhood. If we achieve that, we perhaps will be the first country in the world to achieve universal early childhood education. Well, around the world now there is a lot of movement towards ensuring early childhood education, but hopefully we'll be universal. You would remember the Prime Minister ensured that there was universal secondary education by ensuring that no child is left behind for a secondary education. We already have universal primary education. We're moving now to have universal early childhood education, and of course the tertiary education as well, where it is GATE certified. There is ample opportunity to move from 42% of our student population to 60% for tertiary education. So it's going to be a seamless transition from early childhood to primary to secondary to tertiary. And of course this is improving the human capital development to ensure sustainable development. The government spends $8 billion per year on education, both from the Ministry of Education, about 4.3 and 3.7 in tertiary education. This is more than what is in best practice countries, in developed countries. We are about close to 20% of our annual expenditure and close to 6% of our GDP. Some of the developed countries are 16-17% of their annual expenditure and less than 6% of the GDP.
How much does looking to move to universal childhood education, how much will it cost the government in terms of the ECCE schools?
Well, we believe if we have to pay all the teachers, which is approximately 4,000 teachers, and we have to provide the infrastructure, we're looking at a cost of around 400 million, 500 million, and which we will consider very satisfactory to ensure that these children are educated from an early age. But the more detailed costing will have to be done subsequently. Well, those that will come on board and be working as a partner with us, satisfying certain requirements and standards, the certification of the teachers' qualifications, the infrastructure, meeting the OSH requirements, the space, the environment, and so on. There are a number of things that they will have to satisfy.
This 400 million is in a time frame of when?
Well, it will be a process over the next 3 years, so it would be a gradual movement. If we get more schools coming on board very early, we may start some of them as early as September. The bureaucracy within the Ministry of Education, I'll have to encounter and work with it to ensure that we can put the systems in place to achieve this.
I know you said you wanted to stay on topic, but I have one question off the topic. What about the retired teachers who are calling for their pensions and their
ministry? Met with them yesterday, and I believe that the Human Resource Department, together with the Deputy Permanent Secretary, is moving quickly to solve some of the urgent problems. I have indicated to them that if there is need to get more personnel, they must get the additional personnel to work through the documents and the files to ensure that the people who deserve for long years waiting for their gratuities and pensions do get the relief which is badly needed at the moment.